What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. Welcome back to. I don't even know how to. I don't even know how to begin because it's every single day it's something, and it gets more. I want to say banter. It gets more. Should I call it amusing? I should call it. Yeah, it's funny. Like at this point, you just need to laugh. When I saw the news today on Bonucci, and we will talk about Pogba a little bit. I just laughed because I was right. I'm happy I was on the good side when I spoke about Bonucci. So he came out and he's suing the club, and he is not just suing them. He's putting a twist on it to put Juve or the club in an even much worse spot, by his demands. And I will get into it. But before I do that, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification if you are new, and let's go. Okay, so when I said I was right that Bonucci is, you know what. And if I say the word, it starts with a B, this video will get taken down by YouTube. Or we will get flagged and we will get, put aside by YouTube for a while, like happened in the past, because we spoke about certain things. So I'm not going to say it, but you can fill in the blanks. But he is the B, because he is the lowest of the low. Like, it is what it is. And I don't want to hear about the club mistreated him and blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. The club told him months in advance what the situation is. He thought he was bigger. He said no. And now he's crying like a little baby because the club told him, we told you, you're gone. You're done out here. And he should have been done out here. And he is the last person on planet Earth to complain about dignity and smearing the image of himself. It's like he forgot what he did, in the football world. Going to your rival, celebrating scoring a goal at the stadium, crawling back because he was dog shit at Milan. Like, he was absolutely crap. And he needed his buddies at the back to make him look decent again. That's what happened. And this is how he's acting now. He's like a baby. He's suing the club because the club kind of smeared his image. I don't know what image he thought he had from himself, but the image was low-hanging fruit. It is what it is. And the twist he puts on it, and that's the word, like, that's how calculated it is. It's not just out of goodwill. If you want to believe that, that's fine. But I think we all know him better than this. Like, we know him. We know how he is. He's saying, I want the money, but I'm giving it to a foundation I have for the kids. He's putting up people, the fans, the club, whatever, the media against the club, basically, for saying, now they're gonna fight this. They're not gonna give me the money. Actually, they're not giving the kids the money. He's coming to a point where he is basically telling, like, he's making Juventini say, F them kids, basically. And I agree. Because if the club is serious, they win this case, and they should win this case, and they would still offer the money to that foundation and help out those kids. That's what the club should be doing. They should win this case and just hand over that money, or the family should be doing that to make a point. They're not going to do that because that's not how the club operates, and you might say that's pity, but it's not, because he puts innocent children into this conversation now. That's what he did. That's what he's doing. He's scum. Like, he's acting like a scum. And that's what it is. When all the news broke out and people were saying, oh, the situation should have been handed in a better way. I said, agreed. It didn't need to be so media publicized. Like, I agree with that. But he chose that route. At that point, I was like, it's your problem. When people said he's a legend, and it makes me, like, when I remember that conversation, it makes me still want to puke. Because it's shocking. You're putting him with players who decided to play Rimini away in front of, I don't know, 5,000 people on a crappy pitch in their primes after winning a World Cup. You're putting him in that category. That's wild. Even when it comes to Dybala and all those guys, like, and I don't want to put Dybala in, but just name the player. There are categories for certain players that nobody will ever reach. That will not happen. There will be no player to reach the level in terms of what they mean for the club, like a Del Piero, like a Buffon, like a Nedved. That's impossible. And I'm not saying you need to stay if the club goes down. I'm not asking that from any player. I know what the modern game is, but what those guys did is unmatched. And it will be unmatched because it's not one, it was a couple of very good players in their prime who decided we're not gonna leave, we're gonna stay here and we're gonna help this club out. Your people were putting him in that category. He's the worst. He is crying like a little baby when he knew what was gonna happen. These things happen so many times, and this is the first time I actually hear, and tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, this is the first time a player is suing the club because he couldn't train with the first team. He could train, he was allowed to train with the team at the Continassa, but not with the first team because he was not part of the squad. And you train with the team that's part of your squad, the team you're gonna build on for the next upcoming season. Did Arthur sue the club? Did Pellegrini did that? Piaka, were they suing the club? They were not doing that. They knew they were not part of it. They were told what the situation was, and they got over with it. But you have a guy who already got a second chance. We saved his career, for a season or two, whatever, and he's still doing this. He is an embarrassment. Like, he is an embarrassment. He's a child because I think everybody remember that Porto game where he was in the stands after questioning and telling a coach what to do on the pitch in front of the cameras, in front of the world. And that little moment made him so angry, like a child who didn't get his little candy, whatever, and made him decide to join Milan and throw everything away, only for him to crawl back and cry because he was crap at Milan. He was absolutely crap. The drop off was insane, and he backed the club to bring them back. The club did so after what he did, after how he acted, and now he's up here, and it's like he's forgetting what actually happened. That's the crazy thing, And I have absolutely no respect for that guy. I didn't have respect for him before the news came out. Before the news came out that the club said you're going to train on your own, I lost respect the day he chose to leave for a childish reason, and to do that at the stadium and then crawling back. I'm like, you have no morals whatsoever. You just don't. You don't have any self-respect. It's all about you. You always wanted to be in the spotlight. I'm not even gonna talk about the Cagliari Keane thing. I'm not gonna even bring into that. But if you watch a Netflix series, you can see he was the fakest leader out there, and you can see even in the Netflix series, a lot of players were like, ugh, here he is again, and it felt genuine that a lot of players were like, oh boy, again with him. And there were already stories that a lot of players in the locker room were not too hyped about how he interacted with the team and whatsoever. But the things that are coming out of this club at this moment in time are just crazy. It's crazy. If it's not the points deduction, if it's not the points deduction, then it's the doping case, then it's Bonucci. Like, it's insanity. I spent 10 minutes almost on the video. I didn't even touch on Pogba. And I'm not going to touch on Pogba because I'm doing a live and recording a podcast with Julian. Pogba has been suspended. There's still no news. The latest news is actually that he took that without the club, the team doctors, whatever, knowing what he was taking back in America. That's the story from Gazzetta dello Sport, from Fabiano Della Valle. Take it with a pinch of salt. That's what it is. But when his agent came out, Pimenta, yesterday, I saw that statement. I'm like, I think he's done. Because they ended the stadium with, however, Pogba never had the intention to take something. I'm like, yeah, man, I think he's done. It's just now, like, it's sad. And I'm not going into it now. You just need to hope the club had no clue about it. Otherwise, it's big time screw up job. by the club, and you wouldn't be surprised if it's actually the case. To be honest, at this point, anything is believable. But the Bonucci one is this is the most banter thing out of the entire three stories, like points deduction, Pogba, and the Bonucci one. I'm more pissed about the Bonucci one, which is absolutely crazy. But oh boy, how petty, how what type of person do you need to be to do that? And also put in the request to, yes, I want to sue them, I want the money, but I'm gonna donate that money to kids. So now you're putting up the club in a very bad situation where they're gonna fight to keep money away from the kids. That's the story basically. It's not far fetched. That's what out there now. Like I said, if the club, and with the club I mean the family, has any real self respect and balls, not money, because they have money to burn, they win that case and they still donate that money. That's what they should be doing, but they will not. Um, so that's that. I will probably rant about it during the live or the podcast, so check that out later on. You will hear from Julian, which is differently than my view, maybe. But let me know in the comments what you think about the Bonucci story and the Pogba one as well. And join me for the live in an hour or two, and then for the podcast that will drop tomorrow with Julian. Thanks for watching. See you in a bit. Ciao.